Hey you guys, welcome to Lives with Kristal, and so today we are going to do that wreath. Now I had warned people that it's a little bit finicky, and so that's why I wasn't going to do a live on it, but a couple people requested it, so I thought I would go ahead and do it anyways. So this is the wreath. Give you a little bit without me in there, and give you a little bit of a close-up. And so this wreath, I got this stuff just from the dollar store, and it was only $4 to make. So it's nice, cute, easy. It's really great size for like putting around the house, you know, just as a little decorative piece here and there. So yeah, so this is what we're going to do. Super easy, and like I said, $4 from the dollar store. So I'll set that example out of the way. All right, and so we have our 4 items. So this I got from just at Dollar Tree, and it still has its tag on it, so you guys can check to see if your store has it. And let me see what it says. It says 9.8 inches. So then you guys know what size we're working with in case you do end up getting something bigger, then you might need a little bit more ribbon and stuff like that. All right, so that's $1. And $2 is just a mix of leaves. And this one actually had some sparkly ones in it. But because I was doing 2 of them, I didn't want to use up the sparkly one and then have them not the same, so you guys wouldn't be able to follow as well. So this one is just once more from the Dollar Tree. So 1, 2, and then our 2 colors of ribbons. Alright, so this is the one that was around the base of it. And then we have this one, which is really pretty. Hopefully you guys can see that design. Let it focus in. Alright, and so that's what I used for the background and center of the bow. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and open this up so then we can get started. Alright, so I actually made this wreath a week ago, so hopefully I don't get too finger tied from it being so long since I did it. So once more, like I told you guys, it was a little bit finicky, so it will be a little bit more clumsy than what I normally do, but you guys wanted to see what I did, so I'm showing you what I did. So I pretty much used almost the whole ribbon to go around it, so just constantly around, and this is why it gets so finicky, is because it keeps on curling up. And so that's the part that was a lot to struggle with. And so pretty much we're just going to use it all except a little piece that we can save up, that we can save aside for the bow, because I don't think I had anything left of the last one. Like, I used the whole thing. And this was once more just from the dollar store, and it is 3 yards or 9 feet is the measurement on it. Like I said, you want to leave enough to be able to do a bow. So it has some tape at the end. Just go ahead and take that right off. And enough for the bow. So I didn't do a very big bow even. So did about that much would be more than sufficient. So we're looking at, you know, maybe 1 foot of that for the bow. And that's being a bit generous even, okay? All right, and so this we're just going to keep on wrapping it around. Making, oh, see, that's what I mean. You see how much I'm struggling with this? It just keeps on uncurling. So after, I'm just going to be using a glue gun for this, because that's kind of the tools that I have, and I'm sure there's a lot of wreath makers out there who are like, why would you do that? And I mostly just like working with glue guns. But the other idea that I had that I'm pretty sure is what a lot of other people do is use pins. And so that would make this a lot easier, because then you can just kind of pin it as you go. So just little pins, and be able to stab into it to get it to stay where it's supposed to be. But instead I'm just struggling with all of this loopiness and wanting to twist and turn in its own way. Alright, so now we're kind of just moving it around to fill in those gaps so you don't see the green. If you wanted to make it just a little more solid, you could also paint it white before. That's definitely an idea, because as you can see, it kind of is a little bit darker than it on its own. You know, you can kind of see my thumb through there, so that would help it, so then it wouldn't have that kind of green tinge to the background. But for a cute little decoration, I wasn't too worried. So we got some gaps in there, and so this is what I mean by finicky. And so you just kind of keep on moving it around to fill those in, and that's where a lot of the gluing came in. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing just the 2 ends down, so then I have a place to work with where I'm starting. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it right to the green. so then it's good and solid. And hopefully my glue gun is ready. It is. Alright, and I'm just going to glue that first piece down and glue the end over top of it. Alright, going to need a bit more glue. And then I just have a lot of fun with glue. So, you know, be generous with it, especially if you're using just the small ones. The glue is not expensive at all, so go ahead and have your fun. And see, we got a nice little road there, but then it's not there. So just to make sure it's going to stay put, I'm going to put some more glue down there. So anytime I'm kind of like fixing an area, then I just put a little bit more glue there just so then it knows where it's supposed to stay. Alright, oh, gotta hold it for a moment. Oh, I got this piece. Oh. So this is what I mean. This is really the hardest part, is just that, you know, it wants to move all around and you need to decide where you want it to be and make it stay. Alright. And it's pretty fast to do too, as you guys are seeing, I'm sure. Just adjusting. Spread that out a little more. Spread that out a little more. So yeah. So I'm definitely not doing it super uniform or anything like that. If you look at my original one, you know, you can see where the ribbons are. These ones are all close together. These are a little more separated, but it still came together nicely. So you could take the time to be, you know, to make it all even and precise. But I tend to do quick crafts. I like to make it nice and quick for you guys. So then, and also so anyone can do it. So if somebody feels overwhelmed by using rulers all the time or something like that, then this is just really easy. Alright, I think that's about it. Do one more piece there. Alright, and maybe what you should do at the beginning is decide which side is going to be your front and which side is going to be your back. So then you're putting all those glue spots on one side. Alright, so there we go. We got the base of our wreath. Okay, and then we're going to do our bow. So once more, you know, I don't necessarily do these the way that everyone, I'm just thinking of all my friends from the South and how they're just going to be like, Kristal, that's not how you do a bow, which, you know, I'm not even going to argue about, but this is how I do bows. Alright, so I just have the piece I was working with, and I'm just going to overlap it, and I'm just going to glue that. Okay? Nice and simple. Anybody can do this. Alright, and just glue it down. Okay? Nice and simple. And then, oh, it looks like I already cut some ribbon. Alright, so then I have the lovely orange, and it looks like I already cut the piece. So let's see if it works out. So pretty much going to do this. So I folded it in half into quarters, and see if that'll be enough to go behind it when they're all laying flat. So then you'll be, so it'll kind of be peeking out. So that, see how it's hanging out on both sides? So that is long enough. So I probably did just already do that previously. So this one was about 1 foot, and this one maybe 2.5 feet, you know, just guesstimate on that. Alright, and this one was 3 yards as well, and once more from the dollar store, nice and simple. Alright, so then this is kind of what I do by eye. So, you know, once more, there's probably another way to do it that you lovely people who do bows all the time know how to do. Alright, so we could actually, no. Alright, so I get kind of a guesstimate work, so about half of that. So you're doing about 1/4, and just kind of folding it in. Okay, so I just glue it in on itself. Okay, so glued. And then I loop on the other side and do about the same amount. Alright, and then glue that part down. Kind of do it a little bit of a twist on an angle. So you try and show you that. Just kind of off center just a little bit. All right, and then I wrap it under. See how we're getting kind of two flaps there? Do them about the same size. And then I'll just glue in the center again. Flip it up. Alright, and once more just off center a little bit so then it comes out the side. So we're making kind of an X with our ribbon. That last piece is just a little bit shorter. So I'll try and give it a little bit extra, and it will be covered with the other bow, so we can go it on just not quite on the center, but in itself right there. See how it was a little bit shorter, so I kind of made up the difference there because the center is right here. Alright, nice and easy, very flappy because it's nice and big, and it's going to be behind this one. So I'll show you the example one more time so you can see that. Alright, and then as you see in the middle, so we're going to do this part right here and add the orange in here. Alright, so once more, you just take the orange. Oh, make sure I have enough. So I used the same one from last time, so if I don't have enough for this one, you guys should have enough for at least one. Okay, so line it up with where I glued it. Make sure I have enough and a little bit extra. Oh yeah, we got tons left over for doing the rest. Alright, so do just a wrap right around it. So then it can go. There you go. Alright. Hey Shauna. Okay, so Shauna makes bows, so she's going to be the one to correct me on my way of doing bows. Maybe we'll have to get her on someday to show us how to do bows. Alright, so here we go. So we'll do the exact same thing as we did before, so I'll glue it down onto the same spot where I've overlapped it before. Just glue that down there and then put glue on top, and make sure you're kind of in the middle of it so then it sits a little bit nicer. And you could go ahead and do this before you glue it around, like just put a line right down the middle of your ribbon and then add this one on. That would definitely be another way of doing this. Alright. And you know what, I think I'm going to put an extra little just in the middle because it kind of is sliding a little bit and we want to make sure that that stays a little more centered. Alright, so now we have all this extra to be able to put our bow together. So we have this part, line up where you have your glue, line it up with the center of that, and maybe even go ahead and glue it. That would make life so much easier so then it's not moving all about. Alright. Get that, so it's behind. We glued it just in the center, all those glue pieces all together. Make sure it's shimmied right. Alright, and then we're going to take the center of the bow and push it down and just kind of start bunching it, so then it'll be easier to tie and so we can see what it's going to look like. Okay, so just kind of bunching it together into a bow. And the good thing is it has wire in it, so you can do some of the adjusting afterwards and it will be fine. Alright. Alright, so I got it kind of bunched, a little hard to show y'all. Alright. And then we got our backup piece. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it on the bottom. And then be able to pull it around, and so we'll tighten that in. Okay, make sure we got it all centered, our bow. Pull it around and tighten it. Okay, before I go ahead and glue that down, I'm just going to adjust things to make sure everything's kind of shimming in the right way when I bunched it, so then everything will still kind of fall right. Alright. So we got it coming together. I'll fix this part afterwards once I get this glued because I don't want to lose it when it's looking so good. Alright. Just gluing behind it again. Making sure it's still good and tight. Alright, and then I'll just cut off the excess. Make sure you don't cut any of the other ribbon. You don't want to have big gouges taken out by mistake. There we go. Alright, so that's the bow starting to come together. We'll pull out the sides. Make it a little bit more full. There you go. See, that's a little bit better. For the other side, same thing. If you feel like it's shimmied too much, you could put a dot of glue to be able to hold it in place a little bit better. See, and so we got our background orange there. Alright, there we go. So that's our bow. Alright, so before we put our bow on our wreath is I go ahead and put the leaves on. So this one has 2 leaves per little stem thing, and I grab the stick of it and just pull those leaves right off the top. Okay, so, and I think I just used 2 leaves on either side for this one, so nice and simple. And let me double check whether I cut them, because I think I did. I did. Alright, so you still have something to glue on. You do want to keep the stems. And I just cut it right in the middle. Separate the 2. Okay, and again with this one, separate the 2. So then we have 2 on either side. And normally you tend to work in 3s, but because the leaves are so, you know, they're kind of going in their own directions, that you can kind of get away with just doing 2. Alright, so what I like to do is kind of line it up, see what it all looks like, to see where those leaves are going to fall. So I put my bow on to see where I should put my leaves. And then it can give me a general area. So if I have my bow there, then I kind of tuck where I'm thinking that will be a good spot for my leaves. Okay, so you look to see how you would like it. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And I notice there's a peak of green showing from the underneath, so I'm going to use the leaf to cover that up a little bit. Or you can just go ahead and adjust it and glue it down. Alright, so that's one side. Okay, and then I can go ahead and put my bow close to it again. See where I'm going to want the other side. Okay, right about here. I'm just gluing it down. Nice and easy. And I know sometimes when you guys see all these big beautiful wreaths out there that they must be so difficult to make, but you know, you can definitely do your own way of doing it. It's amazing how much you can still create. Alright, and do this. Even if it's a little bit clumsy, oftentimes you can still make it very pretty. Alright, and we'll do it like that. Alright. Tuck that in. Alright, so we got our leaves on. There you go, on either side, just to once more emphasize the bow, right? And then we can grab our bow, glue it in that wonderful gluing spot in the middle. So I got this little flap here, I'll show you so then you guys, if you have any issues, see this one got kind of a flap down. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it up now. So then it will sit a little bit better. And that's just from when I gathered it all together, it just kind of shifted a bit. Alright. So I will go ahead and glue the back and put her on. Make sure you're kind of centered between your leaves. Okay. And fix my bow. There you go. Alright, and then we're just going to add the 2 little dangly ribbons. Okay? Uh-oh. Looks like it's going to have to be pretty short. I forgot to leave enough for it. That's okay. When it's this little, you can kind of get away with it being that short. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do both the ends and prep them for it. So fold it. Make sure I'm showing you guys. So I'm just kind of holding it, get that orange out of the way, holding it folded, and then I'm going to go from the edge, so the part that can open, into the center, okay, and that will give me that kind of forky looking end. And just really little because I don't have much ribbon to work with right now. Alright, so I did that fold, did that cut, open it up, and there you go. Okay, so we'll do the same thing on this side too. And I know that a lot of people like to keep things all symmetrical, but I kind of like things to be off a little bit, especially when there's only two. So I'm not going to cut this right in the middle. See, I can fold it as if it's in the middle, but I'm going to do it offset just a little bit so then you can see the difference. And I'm just going to cut it there because, like I said, this is all the ribbon I have left. So what do we got here? We got about 3 inches and about 3.5 inches. And I think these are actually a really good size for it. Alright, and you can glue these down underneath before you put on your bow, but I forgot to do that. So I'm just going to tuck it in. So I'm going to stick some glue there and tuck it right in there as if it's coming out of the bow. Nice and easy. Alright. And now for the other one. Here, is this the shorter one? Oh no, they look about the same size still. This one's going to be the longer one. Alright, and then I'll glue again. And once more, just kind of tuck that in there. Try not to glue yourself like I just did. Alright, and I'm just going to quickly fix my bow. Get those wires all because I'm moving everything around and touching them. Alright, and I think that's it. I think we've completed it. Alright, so there you go, you guys. Nice and simple. $4 from the dollar store. And I don't know how long this has been, but I think it's been a pretty short live. So this is pretty quick and easy to do. And I actually grabbed some for doing the Christmas ones. So maybe that time, when I do a live for that one, maybe I'll do the pins and we'll see how much easier that one is. Alright? Alright, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Keep up the crafting, and if you end up trying this, and go ahead and post it for us. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Bye!